Good morning, Michael with NWA Welcome Services, and we are live despite our technical difficulties this morning, along with humidity and just other opportunities we've certainly had. But
Carrie told me don't ever loan your equipment out.
Yes, I just realized that, and so we've learned some valuable lessons this morning. But I will say this: we are excited to be here at Neighbors Mill. I think that based upon kind of our time delay this morning, honey, what do you think about perhaps getting in our first guest and then moving right on through with the rest of the show with Dr. Katie Morter? And I think that as soon as we can kind of get her mic'd up in the meantime, or actually get her in here, in the meantime, though, I am wondering how Mike is doing this morning. It looks like they've had quite a crowd in, haven't they?
They have, and so hopefully before the end of the show we can find out what his daily special is and get him on.
Yes.
But he's just been so busy this morning.
He has, and so... But I think we're excited this morning within our various segments to be having some real great guests. For example, this morning in our Feeling Good segment, we've got Dr. Katie Morter. Also in our section on local review, I understand you and Lance got to do a little field trip out with somebody that was kind of a legend here in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh yes, Flip Putoff is a legend of Northwest Arkansas, a local celebrity. So we have a wonderful interview with him coming up.
Excellent.
We'll be going through that as well.
Excellent.
So. And
then I understand that Carrie's got a couple of great guests. One is Sandra Warmack with Nicole's House, the executive director.
And then she also has Randy Noblet from Cave Springs.
Yes.
And he's a delightful man who's on the city council there. Alderman, I believe is his title.
Yes.
And he's going to talk a little bit about the history of Cave Springs and some of the things that are happening out there.
Definitely. And then we get to talk about a couple of things this morning with LPGA and perhaps even the bike event that's going on in Northwest Arkansas as part of it. So,
which I believe we're going to be covering some of the bike event.
Yes, we are. We definitely are. So with that, we will come right back with Dr. Katie Morter in our wonderful Feeling Good section.
Right.
So, all right. We'll be right back.
And history is one that gives you a unique perspective on individuals, their families, and their accomplishments. Our next guest is an accomplished individual, for sure, in the field of chiropractic health and wellness. While we've had the honor and distinct pleasure to know Dr. Katie Morter and her husband, Dr. Ted Morter of the Morter Wellness Center, this husband and wife duo are both extraordinary individuals with accomplished backgrounds and a combined healing experience of over 20 years. Dr. Ted comes from a generation of Morters, serving the Northwest Arkansas communities under the Morter Health system for well over 50 years. Dr. Ted Morter IV graduated with a Doctor of Chiropractic degree from Parker University in Dallas, Texas. However, his healing education began many years prior. He is the third generation chiropractor whose grandfather invented the bioenergetic synchronization technique, otherwise known as BEST, an innovation at its inception, and I kind of almost remember the very beginning days of it. Still today, BEST works by stabilizing the healing environment in the body, finding and updating old subconscious emotional triggers that throw the automatic nervous system out of balance. So Dr. Katie Morter.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think it's not the first time in our history together that I've botched that there.
Everybody loves her.
Yeah, everybody does. So, Dr. Katie Morter graduated as salutatorian from Parker University in Dallas, winning the Jim Parker Award for service and leadership. Her healing path took quite a different turn from her family. With her roots in West Virginia, her father was a graduate of the first class of the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. Her grandfather, also an osteopath, served as a founding board member. She, however, was disheartened by the state of medicine and chose a different winding path that eventually led to chiropractic, to a chiropractor's office for treatment of severe headaches. I did not know that about you. Sorry that happened. You can read more of Dr. Katie's story in her book Wellness Journeys that's available on Amazon. Her postgraduate studies include pediatric chiropractic, breastfeeding and optimal airway health, neurology, upper cervical chiropractic, bioenergetic synchronization technique, cranial adjusting, cranial, I get that one wrong too.
The head.
Yeah, I knew what it was.
Yeah.
Cranial adjusting and functional medicine, along with numerous nutritional approaches. Both Dr. Ted and Dr. Katie have been featured speakers for wellness conferences, business groups, and corporate events. I believe internationally even, haven't you? Some?
We haven't.
Yeah.
I think I've spoken in Mexico one time.
And they are both committed to community education and have also taught in colleges and university, including the University of North Carolina. Well, Katie, we made it through. That's a lot of bio that we wanted to share today because your history is so important to your practice. So, welcome, Dr. Katie.
Thank you.
And we've given that long bio of accomplishment on purpose today. And tell us more about what's happening at More to Wellness now, what your role is in the center, and how the two wonderful kids are doing that, Jay. Those cute guys.
Well, it's nice to see you, Arlene.
Yes.
We moved here about 7 years ago, and Michael and Arlene, we met you right away at the very beginning. And so Max is 6. We moved here when I was pregnant, and Milo was 3. And that's anyone with a 3-year-old knows why I'm smiling like this. He's 3, and he's great. The center is awesome. Right now, Dr. Ted has stepped off to do some different things with mushrooms, like edible mushrooms and medicinal mushrooms. And so that's where he's spending his focus. And me, I'm in the center. And I have amazing clients, I have an amazing staff, and we're focused not only on just helping people feel good and get healthier, but also giving them the tools that empower them to be healthier. Because it's a lifelong process, and it's work. It doesn't just happen.
Right. And then as I've come through, I've noticed so many people, so many ladies that kind of make it their networking place at times. They have their appointments close together, and they have some really good time. Usually these are expectant mothers that I've seen interacting, and that's always been a joy to see that. Well, both of you and Dr. Ted, have helped countless people reach their true potential. And we've seen some examples of that ourselves. You've learned to accomplish in innovative ways, yet simple ways. So walk us through some of those techniques that are rather simple when you look at them from that perspective, and how you use restorative and motivating treatment programs to overcome those mind, body blockages that happened.
Well, you did a great job explaining BEST, which deals with how your brain can create your physiology. So if you're stressed, because you're thinking of stressful things, either memories or something stressful is happening, your body will change. Digestion will shut down, heart rate will go up, blood pressure will go up, and BEST looks at the thought processes of that. Okay. The experiences that people have. It's very simple, very effective. It just basically, in a nutshell, just updates how your brain responds to a certain stimulus. Because your brain, for most of us, our brain is with us 24/7, and that's an important part. But diet is important. Getting a good diet, stress reduction, and ways for you to be able to yourself take charge of your health, and that's important. And so the chiropractic techniques that we use, which are very, very gentle, we do not crack or pop anyone, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't seek out chiropractic care for conditions that are typically they've been shown to work as well as medicine or surgery or better than those things, people don't seek them out because of the cracking and popping, and they're nervous about that. I don't crack anybody.
Yeah.
Those techniques work great, but it's not for everyone. So the things that we do are very, very gentle. They use trigger point like stimulations to relax the body, relax the fascia, the covering of the muscles and the organs, and help to allow the brain and the body to work better. We also adjust. I work with the head, like you said, the cranial work. That's very, very gentle. And I do work with a lot of babies. I do work with a lot of people suffering from allergies, things like that. And I've got some exciting news to tell you here in a minute.
Okay.
But the other techniques we use are really just very gentle to help balance the body. When you have a balanced body, then your body can be healthier.
And hence the word that they're simple, because they're very gentle and they're not some drastic thing that goes on in your body.
Right. But I really want to stress that it's not just the techniques that we do in the office, because those are important. It's important to get adjusted. It's important to have health and help with your health to just get back on track. We all get off track at times. So it's important to have other people involved in the equation. However, health doesn't come from a doctor. It doesn't come from a pill. It doesn't come from a supplement. It comes from what you do every day.
Right.
And so that's really where my focus lies. Yes, we'll adjust someone and help to get them back in balance. But the real magic is giving them techniques, really easy, simple techniques, such as breathing, simple breathing things that can allow them to stay in balance or to put themselves back in balance. Things like using your body in simple posture exercises to just get yourself back in balance and therefore stay in balance longer.
Awesome. Well, you know, it's been a long time since I've been to see you, so
I do.
you're making a lot of things click up here.
I can't wait to see you again, Arthur.
Okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about what some of those key mind-body blockages are? How that, a little more detail on that, describing that.
Well, things happen. Life happens. We all have trauma in our lives, and the thing about your brain is that when you think of something or when you respond to something, your brain doesn't really discern whether it's not happening now or if it is happening now.
Exactly.
So even when we relive a memory, I mean, if you think about something that happened a long time ago, or just on the way here, maybe. Did you tell everyone you got pulled over today?
Not everybody. Not on Facebook.
Sorry. So you think about getting pulled over. It is not happening now. Here you are in a safe place, but your heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, muscles get tight. You're not going to be able to digest that delicious scone that we have here at Neighbors Mill. Things are going to shut down and go stress. Right? So those are some of the blockages, because this is happening multiple times a day, and people can see themselves, they can feel themselves getting tighter, and then it becomes so normal that they walk around like this all the time, and they don't realize this is not healthy, this is not normal.
Right.
Until someone says, hey, you look stressed, and you say, what? I'm not stressed. I'm fine. What's wrong with you? You're stressed.
Yeah.
And a lot of this happens in what I call the cloud, because we get up in the cloud in our thoughts and we go down these rabbit holes, and it's hard to get back into your body. So one of the things, I'll share a technique that I share with all my patients, and it's very important. It's a Breathe Break app, Mind Bell on Android, or Breathe, B-R-E-A-T-H-E. There's a reason why I spelled it that way. On Apple, blue square, white dot. And so the Breathe apps, these apps, you set an alarm. I tell my patients to do it every 15 minutes. Great.
The Breathe app automatically goes off on my watch.
Well, what I want you to do is just breathe, and it should be going off every 15 minutes.
Every 15.
Every 15.
You need to adjust it a little bit.
And the reason why I say every 15 is because life is happening all around us all the time, and we get stressed. So that deep breath, automatically takes you from a stress mode into a more relaxed mode. That's why we take those deep breaths. So if you're doing this consistently throughout the day, it's like a mini meditation. This is how we have health. It's by being consistent. Consistency is not just in the morning I'll think about what I want to accomplish that day. That's important. What happens the other 16 hours during the day? What happens if you're a mom and you have kids running around? Moms need this more than anybody. I'll just tell you that. And one of the things I've heard from moms is when they have these apps going, and it's just a nice little ding, all you do is take a breath, because that's all the time that a lot of us have.
One breath.
One breath. Okay. If it feels good and you can take another one, take another one. But a lot of the moms say that when their kids hear this, they will also take a breath, and they'll tell the mom, who sometimes doesn't hear it because we filter things out, to take a breath. And the kids who might have been fighting before, they stop fighting. Because
awesome.
guess what? They've been short-circuited. They've been redirected.
So let's be sure everybody get that app from either
Mind Bell on Android or Breathe, blue square, white dot on Apple. And they're both free.
Great. Well, we mentioned earlier that your postgraduate studies include pediatric, breastfeeding, and optimal airway health, which I'm very interested in hearing more about that from you in the future. Neurology, upper cervical chiropractic, bioenergy, best is how I've always referred to it, but bioenergetic synchronization technique, which I think that synchronization of that is just a phenomenal thing that Dr. Mortar, the first Ted, invented or developed in his research. You do cranial adjusting, functional medicine, along with numerous nutritional approaches as well. So we've kind of run through a few of those. Hopefully we'll have you on the show to discuss each one of them in more specific as we go down the road. But do you find that many, as part of your practice today, you're seeing a lot of expectant mothers and babies, infants? Do you find that many of the infants, babies, and toddlers need that cranial adjustment, or what's going on there?
Well, there's been this trend lately that with breastfeeding, where a lot of babies are having difficulty latching, and which creates stress with the mother and creates stress with the baby, and it has to do with their they're known as tongue ties or lip ties. So there's some extra tissue that doesn't allow them to get suction easily. So I've been working with different orthodontists or dentists that do procedures, and I was kind of thrown into this. I just had patients that responded well who were going through this, and then I had doctors starting to refer to me.
Awesome.
It is awesome. And those babies, yes, they do need different cranial care, and I've been working with some great myofunctional therapist around here named Stacy Fletcher, who is just rocking it, and she's really helping a lot of these moms. But the cranial bones are tight, the jaw is tight, the atlas, this very top bone under the skull, that always needs to be adjusted. When a baby is born, take it to the chiropractor. They're not going to get flipped and cracked and popped. They're going to get rebalanced. Birth is hard. It's hard on the baby and it's hard on the mother. But you know what? Yes, I've been working with all these babies, but it's the moms that need the care the most. It is,
gotcha.
And no one cares about the moms. The moms don't care about themselves. They're worried about the babies. But there's a lot of moms that are just, especially after the second baby, I call it the depletion syndrome. They feel shut down. They feel like they can't muster the energy to get the things done they need to get done. And that is where, because if you fix mom, if you get mom feeling good, everybody else is going to be better. So
right.
Yes, we need to work with the babies, but we love work with moms as well.
Sure. Well, what are some of the newest things happening?
Well, so glad you asked. So this is something that I've only shared with my patients, so you get the scoop.
Okay.
I am spurred on by my patients, because I have a lot of awesome patients, and like I said, I have a lot of mothers that after the second baby everything just starts shutting down. Things just aren't working. And some of them shut down worse than others. And so they are sick. But there's nothing wrong with them.
Exactly.
No one can find anything wrong with them. So what I have begun doing is I had some patients that I referred to a naturopath in Philadelphia, no, just in Pennsylvania, Hershey, Pennsylvania, but who does nutrigenomic research. So it is looking at your DNA, not DNA about cancer, not DNA about disease, but the DNA in your genes as to, can you process fats? How well can you support your gut biome? Do you have a histamine problem? A lot of people have a problem with histamine.
Yes.
You need to have me back on to talk about histamine foods.
Okay.
Because girlfriends, they're everywhere.
Okay.
And people that have allergies need to be avoiding certain foods that actually contain histamine. So it's like you're taking an antihistamine drug, but then you're just throwing more histamine into the fire. So all of this, we can look at your genes and find out. So we can create a customized plan for someone. Look at their diet, look at their exercise, look at their stress levels, because stress affects how your genes perform. And in a nutshell, that's what we're going to be doing. My mentor, he's not taking patients anymore. He's off presenting at different genetic conferences all around the world. Yes. So I'm learning from him. I now have a brain again after having a 3-year-old. So I've decided to take this on myself. And so we're going to be offering that soon at Warner Wellness Center. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to help a lot of people that have not been able to find answers. Or help a lot of people who just want to be healthy and stay healthy, do that.
I'm excited about that. Very excited for you on that front. Well, tell us a little bit about where you're located, how folks can get a hold of you, any social media information you want them to have.
Well, we're Warner Wellness on Facebook. Our office is at 3201 Northeast 11th Street in Bentonville, Suite 13. I think it's off exit 88. It is off exit 88.
Okay.
And so right off the interstate, right there off Central, and we have a lot of fun.
Awesome.
We have a lot of fun in our office.
And how can they call you? What number?
Oh, our phone number is 479-268-4477.
Great to have you today, Dr. Katie. Good
Nice
to see
to
you
talk to
again. Give both the boys hugs and also a belated Happy Father's Day to Dr. Tiff from us, okay?
I sure will.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, darling.
Good morning, neighbor. It's Lance Lucer coming to you here at Beaver Lake. Normally Mike would be sitting in my spot. We're going to do something a little bit different though. I am here this morning with Flip Putoff from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He is the outdoor writer, covers everything outdoors. Flip, welcome to the program.
Good to
We're
be
glad
here.
to talk to you.
Always good to come to the lake.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I work at the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Been there for 39 years. And I have 2 jobs there. On the Outdoors Reporter, do our outdoors section that's in the paper every Tuesday. And then I also work on the photography staff. And I really like both jobs a lot, because outdoors I get to be, doing outdoors things, and working on the photography staff, I get to keep really good in touch with the community.
So you get to actually interact with people and not just animals and nature.
Yeah.
So
I like both jobs really well.
So 39 years as the outdoors guy. Can you tell some of our new residents to this area some of the things that might interest them for the outdoors?
You bet. I really think if you have any interest in outdoors at all, there's something here for you. And if you like to hike, we've got so many trails around here. We got this beautiful lake. We got other lakes that are close by. We got rivers to float. If you like to mountain bike, there's all kinds of mountain bike trails. If you like to bird watch, you can go like here to where we are. Or and the Northwest Arkansas Audubon Society is real active. You can get in with them, and boy, that's just there's just unlimited opportunity around here, I think.
Now, before we got started earlier, you and I were talking about the hunting, and I'm an avid hunter, so we were talking about the deer population and all that. So now, deer season is coming up, and those of us who are concerned with it know about the chronic wasting disease and all that stuff. But how much of an impact have we seen in this area from the hunting side?
Well, as far as chronic wasting disease, the people I've talked to, you know, I mean, it's in their mind, but they're not going to quit hunting or anything. You know, in other states that have had that, like Wyoming, they don't even mention it anymore, and it's kind of a new thing in Arkansas. They just found it a few years ago, so it's still kind of in the news, you might say.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think it's going to change a lot of people's hunting habits.
So it's no cause for concern for as far as the hunting goes.
Just as far as, you know, there might be a few people that aren't going to hunt anymore, but you know, but I don't think that chronic wasting disease is going to cause too many people to give it up.
Okay, and of course we are out here on the lake, and we've had some waterfowl around us. They've since moved on a little bit, but you know, the waterfowl hunting. That's another big thing for this area, which I guess our season will be coming up shortly.
Right.
Most of the seasons are coming up shortly. We're only in our fishing time right now. But you know, as far as waterfowl hunting, our new residents coming in for that.
You know, if you like to duck hunt and goose hunt, you can do that anywhere on Beaver Lake along the government shoreline. You know, it's all public owned, managed by the Corps of Engineers. The only place you can't hunt from the shoreline is in a developed park like here at Prairie Creek. Okay. You couldn't like set up a line right over there. But I duck hunt myself, and you know, we've had hunts that's as good as going to Stuttgart, just right out here at Beaver Lake. And but then there's most mornings you know, you look at the sky and you drink coffee and you talk to your buddies. And then about 9 o'clock, well, there's no ducks, so you pack it up and go and try it again the next time.
So it's like my cold mornings out in the deer blind.
Right.
I'm sitting there talking to my buddy more than I am actually doing anything.
It seems like with duck hunting at Beaver Lake, you've got to have high water and cold weather.
Okay.
We got the high water right now, that's for sure.
So our new residents that you know, they want to get out and do some duck hunting, do some deer hunting. Beaver Lake's still a good place for them to come and do that.
You bet. You betcha. And I'll tell you, a good source of finding out things to do around here is to read the Northwest Arkansas Democrat Gazette Outdoors, NWA Outdoors section every Tuesday.
You don't say.
Because we cover, you know, we cover mountain biking, we cover hunting, we cover river floating, fishing, you know, the whole 9 yards.
All right, so you mentioned river floating. Now, I read something, it's been a few months back, about Silent Springs getting a whitewater rafting
It's
facility.
really a cool place. It's on the Illinois River, south of Siloam Springs. It's called the Siloam Springs Kayak Park.
Okay.
And the Walton Family Foundation paid for this, and they went in and they did a little engineering. And where the park is, there's always been a little rapid there, but they've fixed it up to where there's like 3 drops, and you know, it's a great place just to go take your kids swimming, because there's a lot of eddies that you can just swim, or you can take your kayak over there and you can you know, you can go down those rapids, and there's, when you're done, you know, most of the whitewater kayaks are real light and they just carry them back up and do it again. Or else they get in one of those waves below the rapid and they just play around in that. But boy, it's a really cool place. I mean, it's really a lot of fun.
So we've got deer hunting, we've got duck hunting, we got whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
We got swimming all over the place. Now you mentioned fishing.
Right.
Now, you know, we're right here. I see lots of fishing boats out here. So, you know, tell us about our fishing on Beaver Lake.
Okay. Fishing has really improved so much on this lake. The last 2 years, the fishing has really been good, I think. If I can catch fish, anybody can catch fish. But you know, the fishing just better now, and the Game and Fish Commission will tell you that we've had several high water years, like the lake is high right now. And when it's like that, when the fish are spawning, it makes for a really good spawn. So they have an excellent reproduction. So we've got more fish, and they're just really biting real well this year and last year. Now, when we get into the real hot summertime like we're getting into now, it starts to slow down. But it's been a really good year this year and last year.
So now we're getting into that hot time of year. So instead of fishing, we're going to get on our boat and go out.
There you go.
And ride in our inflatables and stuff like that. So the skiing on Beaver Lake, that's pretty good as well, right?
Oh yeah, you see people doing it all the time. The lake it's just a pretty lake. There's all kinds of bluffs to see, and it's just real scenic, and it's big lake, and there's a thing called a Beaver Lake Aqua Trail, and you can go by the Corps of Engineers office and get a map, and it has little landmarks on the map that you can go out in your boat and take your family out to see, like Montenay, where the resort was a long time ago, and different things like that, all up and down the lake, from the headwaters near Fayetteville all the way up to the dam near Eureka Springs.
Oh wow,
that's a pretty cool deal.
They've got a whole tour that you can do by boat.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And really, there's so much to see. It takes about 2 days to really, if you want to go see everything from one end of the lake to the other.
Okay, so a good thing would be to maybe bring your camper and camp at the lake, and then get on the boat.
There's 9 parks like this on the lake. From one end of the lake to the other, camping, swimming,
Okay. So maybe a new resident decides they don't want to move into a house yet. Maybe they want to set up their camper here, spend a little time camping.
Look around. And there's some resorts around you can stay at if you don't want to camp. You can cabin camp,
So
I like both
a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
I like my tent, but hey, cabin's nice every now and then.
Now, and we had briefly talked about mountain biking and biking in general. Now, how much do you get involved in the whole greenways and all that stuff?
Man, I'm a real avid bicycle rider. I love to road bike and I love to mountain bike. The Northwest Arkansas Razorback Greenway, to me, is one of the best things they've ever built around here, because it's getting so many people out to get exercise, and you see parents riding their bikes with their kids out there, getting them outside, and you can ride all the way from Bella Vista to Fayetteville and back. It's 36 miles one way, and you're not in any traffic. You have to cross some intersections, but it's just great. And mountain bike trails, we just got them all over the place.
Oh yes.
All the way from Siloam Springs out to Hobbs State Park and beyond. And Bentonville's got a lot of nice trails. Rogers, it's a big deal. Mountain biking is.
So 36 miles, that takes you from the tip of Bella Vista all the way down to the middle of Fayetteville?
It's actually more than 36 miles now, but the trail starts at Lake Bella Vista on the north, and it goes through Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, down to the south end of Fayetteville.
Okay.
And now they've built another extension onto it, so that it's a little bit further than 36. But the original Greenway was from Lake Bella Vista down to the south end of Fayetteville. You cross Dixon Street, and then you keep going a little farther, and it just goes on down into there. I think it goes like to Baum Stadium. It kind of curves around, but that's a real cool deal. I love it.
So our new residents, they've got a lot of activities that they can get into if they're in an outdoors type like myself or yourself. We like the outdoors, so we want to welcome our new residents and encourage them to come out and experience the lake or our greenways, or come out here and go fishing, go hunting. I know we've got a multitude of state parks, and hopefully we can actually get you on the show a few more times over the next few months, and we can talk about some of these other parks, because we don't just have Beaver Lake, we have Devil's Den, and as you mentioned, Hobbs.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing some other state parks here that we've got in our area, but
yeah. I think Arkansas is one of the top states in the nation as far as state parks go. And I like to tell people, if you like the outdoors, there's enough to do within 2 hours of your front door here to last you your whole life if you like to canoe and hike and bike and do that kind of stuff. It's just
absolutely,
it's just a great area,
Awesome. Well, that is great, and hopefully you'll come back and join us again. But can you tell our viewers how that they can follow you? I know you've got some social media and such. So how can they keep in touch with you and follow you?
Well, our outdoor section is on our website, nwadg.com. And you can find our outdoors content there, or I'm a print guy. I like to hold the newspaper, but I like it's every Tuesday. It's in the paper, and I'm pretty low tech. I'm not much for a lot of high tech stuff, but that's how you can find our outdoors content.
Awesome. Well, that is very awesome. Well, I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you
bet.
for coming on with us.
Yeah, that was fun.
Hopefully we can get you back here in a couple weeks and we can talk about some more parks and some more of
Anytime,
our
man.
adventures in the area.
Well, good luck with your deer hunting this year.
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
sir.
We got plenty of deer.
So for Good Morning Neighbor, I'm Lance Lusader. Michael is off doing other things, so we're going to say good morning, neighbor, and we'll see you guys later.
Well, hey, good morning and welcome to the show. And this particular segment this morning, I have the opportunity to interview Sandra Warmack, and she's the founder and executive director of Nicole's House in Rogers. So welcome, Sandra.
Thank you.
So tell us what Nicole's House is.
Nicole's House is transitional housing for women coming out of addiction. So that's a woman who would want to be in a one-year faith-based program to overcome addiction and learn other lifestyle changes so that she can return to the community as a productive member of that community.
Wow, and Nicole's House is brand new, right?
Brand new. We did our grassroots rally in July of 2017 and opened our doors in January of 2018.
Very good. And so girls have already been going through the program, right?
Yes. We've had 7 women.
7 women so far. Mm-hmm. And so have they transitioned back out, or are they still there?
It's a one-year program, so
Okay.
they are still involved in the program. So the program, of course, includes being involved in a recovery program of some sort, but also they receive drug and alcohol counseling. They receive counseling on relationships because many times they don't have their children, or they need to restore a relationship with parents
That's tough,
or
yeah.
spouses. And they have a mentor, a sponsor, a case manager, a master social worker. We have a nurse who does the weekly drug screens, and then just a whole myriad of other volunteers that come alongside. So we have a lot of people that work with them to help them in different areas.
Exciting. How old are the girls that go through the program?
They need to be at least 21.
Okay.
So our youngest one at this point is 29, and our oldest one is 54.
And they all have kids.
All but one.
All but one.
All but one.
So they have been incarcerated?
Some of them have been incarcerated. I do have one person who has never been incarcerated, has not been in the legal system, but the rest of them have been incarcerated either in prison or in jail,
Okay.
at least once.
So how do they end up finding out about the program?
Well, it's pretty easy because there's not a lot of transitional housing. So the jails and the drug courts in different areas do know about us. The sheriff's department, police departments, judges all know about us, and so they make their referrals.
Now, what are your current needs for the facility?
Well, typically our needs are usually meat. So we get a lot of groceries, canned goods and things like that, but not a lot of things where we can buy milk, bread, cheese, and meat.
Protein.
So that's the kind of needs there. We don't need clothing. People often want to donate clothing, but we don't need clothing. We wait until there's a specific need. Sometimes someone will come to us with just whatever clothing they have on, and so then we'll have to put a specific need out there for that size, but we're not equipped to handle all kinds of clothing, so typically we don't need clothing. Paper products are always important, and then sometimes we'll have different needs like bicycles or lawn chairs, or we had someone who came in and just built a beautiful garden for us and things. So the needs change. We needed a laptop at one time, so different things like that will come along. Someone brought a grill to us the other day so that we can actually grill out. So the needs change, but paper products usually, of course.
Yeah.
So,
And money, probably.
always donations.
Your facility, is it a facility you rent or own?
We're renting it right now.
Is there a plan to buy it, or?
I'm not really sure what the landlord wants to do with that, but we might have that option after 3 years. We'll see how that works
nice.
out.
That's nice. So what has been probably the best surprise, or maybe a thing you didn't expect to happen in working with these girls?
Well, we have a process of vetting them to make sure that their intent's pretty sincere. And, even when you do that, people can change their mind. Things can happen, but I think the biggest surprise has been the absolute sincerity to really embrace a faith-based program and be determined to fulfill it and adhere to it and be successful. So that's been the biggest surprise, is to see that sincerity and that drive to want that faith-based component to come alongside with them. So that's been great. Our volunteers have been a great surprise. Those people who come along and just give tirelessly, spend time in the house, or mentor a woman, or donate items, or work with us on different projects.
That's right, and I think the biggest problem, besides the fact that half the state's nonprofits are in Benton and Washington County, and you're competing with so many other organizations for money and volunteers, is just getting the word out,
right?
And having people tell your story. And I remember looking at the early days of watching Saving Grace come up, which it's a transitional living facility for girls aging out of foster care. Just getting the word out, and as they got the word out, somebody that could fill a need came forward, but it's just getting the word out to tell people and kind of crafting that story so they understand that here's the difference between coming out of jail and going back into the same life that you were in before, and going into a transitional program like this, and how it changes their habits, and just being able to give them a different future, because being in jail isn't necessarily a very positive environment with around other positive people who have a great handle on their life.
Right. And Becky Schaefer, who founded Saving Grace, was one of the first people that I sought out when we started, and her journey was very similar to the way our journey has been with Nicole's house, and now 8 years later to see what's happened there. And one of her graduates is a dynamic volunteer with us because of that program and how that benefited her. So now she's mentoring our women. So it's been a great pay it forward kind of thing.
That's right, and they have a great mentoring model over there.
They do. I borrowed it. So.
Yeah, I think it's just tremendous, and where they have a mentor the girl's age, a mentor their mom's age, and a mentor their grandmother's age. Mm-hmm. And I assume that's what they're still following, but
yes,
what a tremendous opportunity. And I think that most people don't think that they have something to offer, when indeed they do. And there's so many people that are afraid that, my kid is a drug addict because I did something wrong. I mean, that's not necessarily fair for a parent to assume that.
No, it's usually not. It's no respecter of person. Addiction's not any respecter of persons. I remember when I started, a woman called me not realizing that I had retired from my job, and she was asking me for some advice on something else. And when I told her what I was doing, she said, I live in a certain neighborhood, and she said it's only because the people have money that they can go away privately and get help for this addiction that we never hear about it in this particular social class, but it runs across all cultures and all classes.
Yeah, and so much of it is chemically based. So, and it could happen to anybody.
Yes.
So you certainly see that.
Yes.
Well, now, quickly, Nicole's house was named after your daughter. Tell us a little bit about your daughter's story and how this might have inspired you.
Right. My daughter, Nicole, had multiple sclerosis, and she became addicted to the pain prescription drugs for that. And she became so addicted to that she really began to ruin relationships, and she actually ended up on the streets homeless and found herself pregnant. And when she discovered that she was pregnant, she wanted to get off of the drugs, and so she found a doctor who had been successful in helping women become unaddicted so that they might give birth to babies who were not born with addictions. And so she found that doctor. She did give birth to Caden, and he was not born addicted. He had no issues. However, she had a lot of pain from the cesarean section and from the exacerbation of those symptoms after he was born. And so the Catholic Social Charities there in Grand Rapids, Michigan, put her up into an apartment. It wasn't very nice apartment at all, but we were grateful that they did that. But those people who'd been homeless with her felt like they had a home now, and so they all ended up in that apartment with her and brought those drugs in with her. And so when she was having difficulty with pain, they gave those to her, and she did die from an overdose of that because she wasn't used to that strength. And so Caden was 6 weeks old when she passed away from that accident and overdose. And methadone toxicity was the cause of death. So she was never in the legal system, but could have been. Yeah, could have been. And so I just felt like the Lord was leading me to pursue starting transitional housing. And so it wasn't on my radar. And so I began to look at how what that would look like, and began to talk to people who had visions, people who've been jail ministers. And Mary Haynes from Joppa House of Prayer, who was our first board president, had always had the vision. We sought her out and then visited 23 other transitional homes and said, what does this look like? So I could see what it looked like. And so I was very blessed that everybody just gave me all the information I needed, and the community got behind us, and we opened January 8th.
Wow. And there's still so far to go. So
yes.
Definitely, if people want to find out more about what you're doing there, you have a website?
We do. It's Nicole'sHouseNWA.org.
Okay. Excellent.
We have a Facebook page as well, called Nicole's House.
Very good. So be sure and like and follow their Facebook page so you'll get notifications and find out how you can help. And remember that you may not be able to individually help, but I bet you know somebody who can. So I hope that you'll be able to share this segment with people that you know and help them find those volunteers and those donors and who can fill those needs. So, Sandra, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So
my pleasure.
much. I'm Carrie Perrin-Smith, and I will be back in just a bit with you in the Community Affairs section. Well, we're back. I'm Carrie Perrin-Smith, back with you for our Community Affairs segment. This morning, we have Randy Noblet from Cave Springs with us. Now, Randy has been in Cave Springs for 18 years, but I think he's been active. We'll ask about your community involvement. But this season, he has also announced that he is going to run for mayor of Cave Springs. So you'll definitely want to listen close because he has a lot of knowledge about Cave Springs that he can share with you. And I think that's important when we're looking at candidates. So, well, Randy, tell us about what you've been doing with the city up to this point, how long you've lived there.
I've lived there 18 years, soon be 19. I was appointed in 2002 to the Planning Commission and was made chairman of the Planning Commission and worked with them for 4 years through a lot of the growth of Cave Springs. When we approved the subdivisions and brought in some of the business, and things actually grew faster than we ever have.
Yeah.
And I've also been alderman, served 8 years, 4 terms as alderman, set out 2 years after losing a close race for mayor by 11 votes in a runoff.
That's
and
yeah.
And then I ran again for my old alderman seat 2 years ago, and I'm back as an alderman now and have been for the last 2 years.
Very good. So that's serving on the city council for 10 of the last 12 years?
Yes.
Excellent.
And 14 of the last 16 I've worked with the city in some capacity.
Wow. There's a lot to know, really, when you get into municipal matters.
Yes.
So, and especially in an area that is growing as fast as Northwest Arkansas is, you know that people are looking at these smaller municipalities
Right.
for opportunity to grow and kind of stake their claim on land that's available in the smaller municipalities. So most people don't know a lot about Cave Springs. How did it get its name?
It was named from 2 caves, and the water flowed from the northern cave. A large creek starts right there, and that cave is also home to a large number of bats and the largest known population of the Ozark blind cavefish, which kind of created a problem for us with the growth scenario because Fish and Wildlife didn't want us building in the recharge area.
Wow. So did that stifle growth?
It made it where we had to be creative to grow. And we had after, I guess it was the second or third subdivision that we built in, or that we approved as a planning commission, they showed up to say that they were going to shut down all building in Cave Springs because that subdivision came in the recharge area of the spring, and we did not have sewer. We only had septic tanks at that time. 2 neighboring mayors had already declared that they were 5-year plan included absorbing us. So we were kind of in a position we had to grow, and businesses weren't interested in coming there to a city of 1,000. So because of that, a developer approached us about putting in a subdivision, and we explained the problem with the cave fish and the recharge area, and he brought up bringing a step sewer system to town. He worked with some finance people to put together a improvement district, and from that they put in a step system that finance did that would do several subdivisions, and we were able to continue our growth from there. We approved 18 subdivisions in my 4 years as planning chairman, over 1,850 lots. This will probably be the first year since then for us to approve a subdivision, and we are currently at a little over 4,000 people. So we've had a lot of growth in the last 16 years. We participated in the growth of Northwest Arkansas in a big way, but we just had to be creative to do it.
Absolutely. So are you seeing business growth now?
We're seeing business growth. We're also having a growth in attractions, and that bring people to town that can then, as visitors, that can then go to those businesses as well as people from Cave
So what kind of attractions?
Well, we've got the Creeks Golf and RV Resort. We've got the coffee shop. Illinois River Watershed brings a lot of kids in for educational stuff to do with the spring, and the berry cave fishing bats that cost us, that were an obstacle at one point or a draw in another that way. And we've got the coffee shop, the corn maze in the fall, and one of our newer attractions, we've now got a new food truck park. And we're soon to start renovations and restoration of the community building, which should be a draw as well.
Nice, nice. So that place that we drive through to go out to the airport, depending on which way we're coming from, and don't want to drive too fast.
Right.
Don't drive too fast in Cave Springs. I mean, all of that stuff. Yeah, I had no idea that there were things out there like that.
Yes, and I'm excited about the community building restoration. It's from the 30s, an old basketball gym that we had renovated in the past, but it had taken away a lot of the 30s architecture and design.
Yeah.
And I kind of headed up a process where I worked with Clements and Associates out of Little Rock, and they are the ones that renovated the Shiloh Museum. So we're in the process. He's reviewed it. We took to the council in May a recommendation to contract with him to do the restoration. He's supposed to be getting us our course of action and the process to go through to get the renovations started soon. And that's an opportunity. Because we're a community, we're not just a city. And it's an opportunity to bring what has always been a big part of our community, used for a lot of different community events, and take that part of our history upgrade it to where it looks like it did, and it's an attraction people will want to come to, and it'll be able to serve our future needs as well.
Well, that's very interesting. So it might be a good little morning trip over to Cave Springs during the summer and enjoy some, kind of check out what's going on.
Right.
And see it while it was still a small place.
Right.
Yeah, because I see some of the,
growing.
because you have some great neighborhoods. I mean,
Yes.
really nice neighborhoods around, area, Hidden Springs and Cave Springs and just that whole little area right there.
Right.
There's a gated community out there. Am I correct?
Yeah, we have one gated community in Cave Springs, and that a lot of people don't realize it because it's so close to Bentonville.
Yeah.
But it's St. Valerie Downs is
Yeah.
actually in Cave Springs, but on two sides of the subdivision is Bentonville.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we border, and part of this is because we are the only state in the city with two land masses, but because of that, we border Bentonville, Springdale, Lowell, Highfield, and Rogers.
Huh. Well, that's exciting. So, Randy, if people want to contact you, how can they find you?
You can check our city internet site. I'm listed as one of the aldermen.
And your contact info is out there.
And my contact info's there with cell phone number and email address, and I do answer both.
Very good. Well, Randy Noblett, thank you for being here today. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you taking the time out of your day. And hey, I just want to say thank you to Neighbors Mill Bakery and Cafe. This is such a great place for us to stop in and have a cup of tea, have business meetings. Sometimes Starbucks is pretty crowded and, it's hard to find a seat. And here you can come have lunch. So they have a wonderful menu. You can take home a loaf of bread, or you can just stop and have coffee with your friends. So really close to the bypass, so that you can just pop in and have your business meetings here. So right here off Pleasant Grove Road. I will see you next week. I am Carrie Perrin-Smith, and we'll talk to you then.
Well, Michael, reviewing the calendar that we have this week, and I know there's some more things that we've got to meet with Lance on and get on the calendar, but we have some exciting information to share about the upcoming events of this week. So tell us about what's happening that we hopefully are going to be involved with.
Well, we're very excited to talk about our approval and permission that we got to attend the BITE event, which is part of LPGA in connection with, I believe, a number of different kind of food vendors as well as restaurants that are in the new, I believe it's the 8th Street
Market.
8th
Street Market.
8th Street Market, yes. So we're very excited about that. We're going to be on site. That's going to be Lance and you and I kind of splitting those evenings, or it may just be Lance and I on a guys' night out, since you and Lance got the dual
You're
part with flip
still
put
whining
off.
about that.
Yes, still whining about that.
That you missed out on the
that's
local
all right.
celebrity.
No worries about that. But anyway,
Well, I know you mentioned the LPGA, and it starts on Monday.
Yes.
Today,
as a matter of fact.
However, it is closed to the public today.
Yes.
And then tomorrow, what's happening?
Well, tomorrow they're having what are called the professional practice sessions, which are no predetermined times or pairings. That's really all day, and then the gates really open from 8 to 4 tomorrow. And this was most interesting. So they have, my love, yoga for girls that's being presented by Dove. So I'm thinking there's probably a lot of stretching and relaxation and mind calming before the lady golfers maybe go on as part of the LPG professionals that go onto the course and play. So I think that'll be really kind of interesting to see how yoga pairs with the LPGA pros. So.
Well, and that's running from 10 to 11 tomorrow,
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yes.
And the gates do open for general admission at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
So if you...
And in fact, all this week, the 18th through the 24th, as a matter of fact, the gates open 8 to 4, and there's really just various events that are going on. One of them that I was most interested to see was Thursday, June 21st, the Walmart Women's Empowerment Summit presented by Kimberly Clark. Now that will be running 7:30 to 10:30. And so they've also even got some start times in the day throughout the week as far as the PM start times for the golfers. So that'll be from 12 to 2:10 in the afternoon. So.
And then there's Like a Girl STEAM Day that's
Yes.
also on Thursday, and that's Walmart and P&G STEAM Center at the golf course.
Yes.
One of the things that I always love that they do, and let me look at our schedule here to see what day it is, but somewhere during this event, I don't see it on here. I know it is there. And you can go out to their website to find more information about it. But with their partnership with P&G on this program, they do the Links program where they have the hair cutting day. And
Yes.
you can donate the hair cuttings.
Yes, yes. I believe that may be part of the program as well. However, one of the things that I really liked was Saturday, June 23rd. The folks really need to come out for Razorback Fan Day. That is from 1 to 4, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Razorback Red going on out there at the LPGA.
Yes.
That'll be great. And we are hoping, of course, that the weather cooperates and that we really don't have a lot of high humidity or heat. But, of course, we are in the throes of summer here in Northwest Arkansas.
Right. Well, Saturday wraps it up with the final round at the P&G and Walmart Classic.
I think that's
Championship?
Sunday.
Or is it Sunday?
It's Sunday the 24th that wraps that up. And also bringing out the kids 11 to 3 on Sunday is the First Tee Junior Golf Zone that's presented by Dub. So that's pretty cool as well. So the kids can come out and take some time to get on the links, so to speak, from 11 to 3. And then, of course, national television coverage of the whole LPGA tour will be on the Golf Channel for what's going on here in Northwest Arkansas.
And that's on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I believe.
Yes, exactly. And
So
then,
during the weekend time.
and then finally they wrap up with the 18th green ceremony immediately following play on Sunday. So some pretty good stuff there. But I'm really excited to announce on the 25th, Lance is going to be in toy, or how shall we say, hog heaven.
Hog heaven.
Hog heaven. And so we're going
we're
to
not
be,
talking Razorbacks
We're not
this
talking
time.
Razorbacks either. We're talking Harleys is what we're talking. So we're excited. We've just received permission from our good friends at Pig Trail Harley Davidson in Rogers. We're going to be having our program there on the 25th. Now, I'm wondering if we should ask Lance's wife to kind of step up and maybe be producer that day, because I'll tell you, Lance is going to be like a kid in a candy store trying to look through all of these motorcycles, and I think he'll be out on the test track even trying something.
We know
out,
Nancy
so.
will be there, so either she'll step up as producer or she'll keep him under control.
Yes,
So-
one of the two. Maybe hard. I think we may need to find kind of a leash or a chain to get him on to keep him held back. But I think that's going to be exciting. We're going to be able to get the folks on at Pig Trail Harley and really talk about all the different areas, everything from clothing right on through to what they've got going on and the latest of toys. You know that old saying, the difference between men and boys is the price of the toys. Well, we're going to find out how much price of the toys we're talking about over at Pig Trail Harley. So I think that'll be neat, and we get to visit with Renee, the marketing director there, and I think we'll also get to talk with the ownership group as well. So we're really excited about that on the 25th. And but I think at this point, I think we're kind of wrapping up the show.
Yes,
and,
we are.
So
this is Arlene and Michael live from Neighbors Mill, and we look forward to you joining us next week at the Harley-Davidson dealership Pig Trail.
yes.
Very excited to be there. So Michael, you want to thank some of our sponsors?
Well, certainly, as always, Neighbors Mill. What a great place to have our live weekly program.
Say good
from.
morning, neighbor.
And good morning, neighbor. And also, of course, who could we not thank but Bolt for production behind the scenes. And they are, again, Lance has weathered a lot of storms with production, and he's done a fine job. So
He has. And don't forget to go out and like Bolt NWA on Facebook.
Yes.
Like their page, check them out, see what they're all about, because they have some exciting things going on there.
I also want to thank Barton Consulting LLC. Be sure to also go out and like their Facebook page. Of course, our furnishings were supplied today by Ashley Home Store. And so I think also we can't forget Meteor Guitar Gallery, KR Promotions. Simply cool. They're just too cool with their wonderful holders. And Music Works, of course, Rick McLeod Insurance, and Faith Event Services as well.
Until next week, this is Arlene and Michael saying, good morning, neighbor.
Good morning, neighbor.